Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we beat the New Jersey Devils to claim our second straight Stanley Cup, making that 2 Stanley Cups since I came over and took over for the GM position. And you know what? It was a postseason and a half. There were a lot of ups. There were more downs than I had expected, but we won the Stanley Cup 2 straight years. Things are changing. We're going to get to that. It's going to be a really, really long offseason. Things are changing. Faces are going. People are moving. Trades are going to be made. But let's just reminisce for a sec. First round, 4 straight games that were 1-goal games. We won 3 straight. They won 2 straight and then made it more of a series than I thought it was going to be. The rookie of the year is on their team, Felix Leidecker. You're going to see that name a lot in future years. He demolished us almost every game. But game 6 was 1-1 going to the third, and we come out clutch with the victory. Second round, we also go up 3-0 against the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks actually reverse swept the Colorado Avalanche in the round previous, which is just crazy if you think about that. That almost happened to us too, so we had to fight 2 teams with a lot of resilience, but Chicago was no match for us. In the last 2 games, we outscored them 13-3. Heading into the Western Conference Finals against the Vegas Golden Knights, we knew they were the only other team in the league to win 50-plus games. They gave us a fight. They did. Game 1, it was a 1-goal game. Game 2, they kind of smushed us. Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5, our goaltender, Jaden Weeman, was on his game. He was at the best. He was playing the best hockey he's ever played. 3-1 in a 5-0 victory. He was our MVP that series. All of our victories, he let in 1 goal or less. So that was definitely his best round. Going to the Stanley Cup Finals, we were going up against one of the best teams in the NHL. They had Jakub Chistov, with the second best scorer in the league this year. They had Pasternak. They had so many awesome players on their team that I was legitimately scared of playing in that round. Game 1, we get a victory. Game 2, we win 5-3. Game 3, we win 5-3 as well. We lose out in New Jersey in game number 4, 4-1. We come back to Minnesota. We win 5-2. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 1-1 heading into the third as well, or something weird like that. I can't really recall. My memory is kind of shot at this point. But we win game number 5 and clinch our second Stanley Cup. Before we get into the offseason, let's check out the stats. Let's see who was our MVP. And Anthony Francis did not end up winning the Conn Smythe, which was debatable. I mean, Kel Newman was so good. Better plus minus, more goals. Yeah, you could have given it to either one. They were both really, really impressive. Anthony Francis had 3 game winners, more power play goals. Everybody came in really big, and there's a few guys that I see here already that performed really, really well that I'm actually kind of proud of. Now, we can talk about Anthony Francis all day. He's about to win the award show hasn't happened yet, but he's won his 4th straight Art Ross. He's winning his 2nd Rocket Trophy. It's tied with Jesper Straka, but he still technically won it. He's going to win an MVP trophy, his 4th straight, easily. He's winning awards this year, probably a Ted Lindsay, maybe a Selke. He's the man, and we would not be the same if we had not drafted him. I can't wait to see down the road when he's like 34 what kind of numbers he's still putting up. I think he's only going to get better as the guys alongside him, Kaprizov and Pietrangelo, continue to strive forward. Kel Newman was really, really good. We also have to give him a contract, and that is going to be the center of attention. This episode is getting enough money to re-sign a few players. It is going to be a rough offseason. People are going left, right, and center It is going to be a rough offseason. That is just a fact. And a name that I'm really happy to see one of the leading scorers in the postseason is Jack Hughes. He goes out there. I want to say he scored 2 goals in that game 5 against his former team. I want to say in the second period, if I'm not mistaken. He was the man. He really showed up. First 6 games, he had half a point per game. Second round, he got even better. Third round, he got even better. Finals, he stuck it to his old team. He wins the Stanley Cup against his former team with his brother, which is that more impressive. Kirill Kaprizov didn't have the best postseason ever. He was definitely quieter than I had imagined. Usually I'm expecting bigger offensive numbers from all these guys, but it was very, very tight games here and there. Every game, the majority of the games were 1 goal or 2 goal games, which is a rarity, especially with the offensive powerhouses we have on this team, but we held down for the majority, and he scored goals when we needed him the most. I want to say 2-game winners right there, exactly. Louis Langweeder is going to be promoted this season. I really, really like him as a player. I think he's only going to get better. His shooting's really good. Puck skills are going to get better. Offensive awareness should get better. Defense is okay. Skating is okay. Physical's pretty good. 20th overall pick in 2023, which was a really, really stacked draft class. He is going to be promoted to the second line because we are going to lose a few pieces, and I'm going to keep reiterating that. It's not like I want to trade away a lot of these pieces. If Cap was turned off, would be fine, but this is the way the world works. We've won 2 straight Stanley Cups. We've been to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. I still want to be a dynasty. If we can win 3 straight, then I think we're a legitimate dynasty. It's going to be hard because there's a lot of turnover. I have a few I've only have, I want to say, half the lineup penciled in. So we're losing pieces. We're going to have to revamp our entire bottom 6. The draft is going to be important for us. Things are changing. But Louis Langweeder is a part of our future, and he was one of the most impressive players. Alexei Petrangelov was kind of disappointing. Him and Kaprizov were the first line was kind of like just beating around the entire postseason. But they scored goals. They did. They scored goals when it mattered. -6 is not the best. 14 points in 20 games. I expect a point per game from him, Kaprizov, and Anthony Francis, but they were going up against the best on every other team. It would be a different story if we had lost in the postseason. But we won. We're still the Stanley Cup champions. 2 summers in a row we get to celebrate as champions. Luke Kunin. Now, this is a name that I don't want to see go this offseason, but I have 3 guys penciled in here that I need to move, and he is third on that list. He is the third guy on that list that I'm like, he's got to go. Like, I have no room. I have no room. I have room for him, but I don't have the money, which just sucks. If I had the money, he'd be around for a lot longer, but especially to Cale Newman back, and get a few other pieces back, especially since we just signed Quinn Hughes to that monstrous 8-year deal, $11 million. He's totally worth it. He's about to win his 3rd straight Norris. I'm just glad a bunch of these players did sign team-friendly deals a long time ago. Luke Kunin wins 2 Stanley Cups, goes to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. He was a fantastic third-line center. If he can't come back, then he has done everything I asked him to do and more. Chris Griffin. I like his play. He wasn't very impressive there in the Stanley Cup finals, but it's whatever. We have him signed to a really awesome contract for the next 8 years, I think. I love signing 8-year deals just to have young guys locked down until they're older. I mean, that's how age works, own stupid. I'm going to save Nils Hoglander. I'm going to talk about him in a second. You got Stelio Mateos, I'm not sure. 6 points, 19 games, +7. If I can bring it, no, I don't even have to bring this guy back. He signed at a League Min, or not League Min, but he signed to a 2-way contract for 2 years. So we have him for free next year. He's going to be penciled into my lineup right now that come on, Owen. There we go. Mateos, put him there. I think he'll be a decent 4th line center for us. So let's pencil him in there real quick. I might use my computer for my notes, but I have just a book right here because I feel like it. So he's penciled in. Duar was also pretty solid for us, really good defensively. It's not like they were putting up the best points, but when it was close games, they kind of like shut it down. They were good plus-minus players, which is a terrible stat IRL, but in this game it shows it's a pretty good indicator about how you're doing defensively. Connor Duar, I liked him. If I can bring him back this offseason, I will. Beckman, I think I don't know how long I have him signed for. He has to be re-signed. If I can bring him back, I'll bring him back because he'll be a decent depth center for us. Julien Gauthier played one game. I don't know if I'll bring him back. Jason Zucker, also letting him go. He never got a chance to get back in the lineup after playing one Stanley Cup playoffs game. He re-injured himself, which I've seen plenty of times before, even though he said it was healthy. But too bad. He won 2 cups. He gets his name on the cup because he was with us all season. Absolute beauty. Defense is always the best part to talk about on this team. Quinn Hughes, the best defenseman in the NHL. He's almost 27 years of age, which means he doesn't have much growth left. And he was 93 overall. He's happy as hell. He's signed a new contract. He's with Minnesota till he's 34 years of age. He is a happy bugger. 17 points in 20 games, no goals, but man, oh man, he's a beauty. Brant Clark continues to impress. I hope he breaks that 90 overall threshold soon. He went down in points in the regular season, but I thought overall he was more impressive as a defenseman in the postseason. I never saw anything negative about him, which is huge. Marcus Smirnov continues to be my favorite draft pick ever. He's a fine tool player. He's an offensive defenseman. He's really good. He's a really reliable defenseman. He doesn't let in a lot of goals past him as a defenseman. I really like him. He's always a great plus-minus. Giveaway to takeaway ratio on a defenseman is always going to be more giveaways because that's how defensemen work. I love him though. And we have him at a really team-friendly deal for the next 7 years. He's definitely worth more than that. Same with Brant Clark. He's making 5.1 for the next 7 years. Whippy! Matthew Dumba. And Matthew Dumba, as I said, one of 3 players alongside Kunin that I am probably going to trade this offseason because of cap. I have to move a bit of money. A bit. Like a little bit that I have to, like a lot. There's a lot of pieces going, and they won their final cup in this city. He did all he could. He was the defenseman. He was the best defenseman when I started this franchise mode. I guess Ryan Sutter was like an 87, 88 overall when I started this franchise mode, and he was technically the best. But Matt Dumba, when we started, he had like 2 70-point seasons in a row. He was great, but it's time for him to go, especially because of cap. Oliver Shillington, 2 points. +4. If we can bring him back, we will at a team-friendly deal, but I don't really want to be spending too much money on a depth defenseman. Maurice Potvin is poised to step up into Matt Dumba's role, probably not play as much minutes, but I want to get him into the top 4 just because I think he's going to have a good offseason growth. He's 20, he's 80 overall. He's coming off a Stanley Cup win. He's going to party all summer in Quebec. He's going to be happy. And goaltending. Jaden Weeman. He's 9-14 and 2.5 goals against. IRL, you want those stats to be better, but in this simulation, he was fantastic. I have to give it to him. Stanley Cup Finals a little shaky, but he held on. The majority of the time he held on, and that's what I hadn't seen in previous years where we go into a third period, he lets in a late goal. Or we start a period, he lets in a early goal or a late goal. I didn't see a lot of that, which is huge. I don't know if it was other ends of the ice that helped him, but he was good. Since the playoffs are over, I don't believe in voodoo anymore, so I can say his name, Jaden Weeman, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 50 wins in the regular season. You are my starting goaltender for the foreseeable future, but you have a little bit of competition. Not in Frederik Andersen. Frederik Andersen, technically pretty good in the postseason when he came in. But $4 million off the books. He was a good backup all year. He split his games pretty evenly. Wins and losses 13-6-3. Could have been better, but backup goalies never ever work. I guess I didn't talk about Nils Hoglander. Hold on. Did I talk about Nils Hoglander? I didn't. So Nils Hoglander. I said I've already talked about 2 of those 3 players that I am deciding to trade away. Nils Hoglander had a fantastic Stanley Cup Finals. 5 points in 5 games. I think 1 goal in the finals. He wasn't good all postseason. He didn't show up. He should have showed up. It's not like... He wasn't on the power play. Yes, that does deflate him a bit. Where do you put him if he's on the power? Where does he? You're going to take Louis Langweeder off the power play, even though he's so impressive goal scoring wise, right? It's hard, and I know a lot of you guys might be like, well, but like, hold on to him if I can, yeah. But if I find the right trade, I gotta do it. Especially if we're getting maybe a potential top prospect in the draft this year, I would potentially do that. If there's a team willing to trade, I'm willing to do a deal, especially for some turnover. Not, you know what I mean. It's important for the future that we make right moves right now. We don't want a hangover next year. We want to continue to win President's trophies and Stanley Cups. So we want to be good. Nils Hoglander, if he needs to stay on, if we have the money, I'll do it. But Dumba, Kunin, and Hoglander, the most important guy I want to keep on this team would be Kunin, just because of how solid defensively he is on the third line. Because if we trade him away, we don't really have that third line center anymore. So maybe if there's a top prospect this year, we look at that. But it is time for the NHL awards. I'm excited because we're taking home a lot this year. Your 2026 Stanley Cup champions, the Minnesota Wild. Have the awards already been awarded? Okay, I guess they've already been awarded. Cool. I guess I missed that. So, your Stanley Cup champions. Oh, have they not been awarded? What the hell? Oh, I guess the AHL playoffs aren't over. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Come on. Keep advancing a few days. Is it over yet? There we go. The Minnesota Wild are your Stanley Cup champions, and the Grand Rapid Griffins, wow, that is a tongue twister, win the Calder Cup. Good for them. It's time to look at the awards. 2-time Stanley Cup champions. Taking home some hardware this year. Ooh, we're still your Stanley Cup champion, baby. President's Trophy winners, 3 straight years. Beauty. We're the best team in the West. Nobody can beat us currently. And 4 straight years with metropolitan teams in the Stanley Cup Finals, which is kind of awesome there. Individual awards. Your Art Ross winner, 4 straight years. Rookie season to his 4th season from 2022 to 2026. He is your Art Ross winner. Best player in the entire NHL. Your Hart Memorial winner, same as the Art Ross, leading the league every year in points, wins his 4th straight Hart Memorial. James North? Did I just have a lisp? James Norris goes to Quinn Hughes for the 3rd straight year. I'm so glad he accepted less of a contract. Thank God for 8 years. We have the best defenseman in the entire NHL. Lady Bing goes to Atu Ratti. We defeated him in the Western Conference Finals. Calder goes to Felix Ledecker. Also beat him. Conn Smythe goes to Cale Newman, and I'm surprised. It could have gone to either Anthony Francis or Cale Newman. I guess Cale Newman was a better overall player. Vezina goes to Gregor DeVries. You know, it sucks because Jaden Weeman had his best statistical season all around, but Gregor DeVries was that much better. William M. Jennings also goes to him as well. Bill Masterton goes to Julian from the Nashville Predators, who are a terrible team this year. Jack Adams goes to Harris for the Winnipeg Jets. Frank J. Selke goes to Alexander Barkov. It's his trophy, basically. Ted Lindsay for the 4th straight year goes to Anthony Francis. And then Maurice Richard goes to Anthony Francis, tied with Jesper Straka. Good for him. Playoffs are over. Award show is over. We accepted our awards. I'm the best general manager in the league, but we have to continue forward. Now, I want to look at the draft here and see what's at the top, because if we have awesome assets to trade, I'm looking at a top guy, because after the top 4 there, it looks to kind of drop off. which I'm not all about there. I mean, yeah. They have a bunch of defensemen. I wish it was one of those years where it wasn't a defenseman. I mean, Sebastian Niederberger might be solid. I mean, I forgot to sign a scout for the West in the USA, but I'm assuming both these guys are medium elites. Why can't I say that name? Sergei Gugolev. Oh my God, Owen. Gugolev. Oh my gosh, that was so difficult. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we have the assets to. If the first overall pick wants to be traded away, hey, maybe we look at that. Maybe we also have a few players down here getting scouted, and I would like to take a shot at these three guys, especially the goaltenders, because you never know. Especially in years past where we pick goalies and they're so good. So it is time to simulate to the NHL entry draft. Deals are getting done either way. We have to save a lot of cap. Oh my God, I feel so bad for Nashville. They were the league's worst team in a very, very long time. San Jose jumps up from 11th to first place, getting that Axelson guy. Rangers, Los Angeles, and Nashville loses out on all three lotteries. Yikes, I'm so sorry to hear that. Draft class, I'm not even going to do the interviews because they never ever work. So, it's time to make deals. We are looking all around the NHL this year. Time to see retired players, any big names calling it quits this year. Evgeny Malkin calls it quits with the Minnesota Wild. You know what? You did your part with Minnesota. You missed out on one Stanley Cup. You got hurt there in the finals that year. Too bad. I mean, it happens, but you were a great player for us in your time. You were good for Springfield. You were good for Florida. You were definitely the best on Pittsburgh. I salute you. Evgeny Malkin, 1,400 career points in 1,296 career games. Beauty. Steven Stamkos calls it quits. 1,300 points in 1,320 games. Hey, if this guy wasn't as injured as much as he was IRL, gosh, he could have still gone a few more years. I guess injuries just catch up to you sometimes. He could have easily been an 800 goal scorer in his career if he didn't miss a few years here and there. He was the last player to score 60 goals IRL, so wonder if we'll ever see that again. Phil Kessel, the cheeseburger-eating bastard, retired. He was beauty. He's not having the best year on Arizona. I mean, I guess nobody's having a great year on Arizona except the goaltenders. Because Arizona, poor Arizona. But I like Phil. Erik Karlsson also calls it quits. I've had my qualms with Erik Karlsson, but of the modern day, he is the best defenseman since... I honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe there's a lot of defensemen to retire here and there, but Erik Karlsson is probably a generational defenseman. 1,100 points, 1,200 games. Thank God he's retired. Jakub Voracek, who we fought in the finals a few years ago, 1,000 points. Brad Marchand, the face-licking bugger, calls it quits on Calgary. Jonathan Toews, Captain Serious. Jordan Eberle, David Krejci, Logan Couture, Cam Atkinson, Oposo, Turris, Gagne, Nielsen, Smith, Bodker, Dadnov, Ennis. Oh, Jeff Petrie, no. There's a lot of players calling it quits this year. I mean, Thomas Hickey, who won the Stanley Cup with us, went to 2 finals, won 1. Absolute beauty. A lot of guys. It's really weird. The NHL is starting to look a lot different. It is really weird to see a lot of these players call it quits, but NHL is changing. Goaltenders, who is out there right now? Or who called it quits? Pekka Rinne, the best goaltender, probably the best player in Nashville Predators history, 484 wins. Finishes his career on the San Jose, I want to say their AHL system is called the Barracuda, if I'm not mistaken. Great career. He's been with San Jose for a few years in this game, but great goaltender. Ben Bishop also calls it quits with the Avalanche. Too bad, so sad. He won a cup with us. Martin Jones, Darcy Kemper, Thomas Greiss, Pavel Francouz, Louis Domingue, Michael Hutchinson. A lot of goalies calling it quits as well. A lot of faces that we will no longer see. Do we lose anybody? We lose a NHL coach. I'm not sure if maybe that's a goaltending coach. I hope it is, because I really don't feel like putting in the effort. So it is the NHL entry draft. I am ready to step in and make a few key decisions propelling us into the future. Any of these top picks want to be traded. St. Louis wants to trade number 5. Buffalo, and then St. Louis again. Number 5. Any players at number 5? Any big players at number 5? I mean, you have this Niederberger guy who might be a decent player to bring onto a roster, especially with things changing. He's playing in B competition, right? So I would feel bad just trading away one of my top guys for a top 4 or top 6. I want to go after a defensive defenseman, or if one of these guys falls out of it, I'd be okay with it. Any of these guys I'm fine with getting, and this might be the best way to use our assets. So actually, let's go to the trade block first, see if there's anything big, any big prospects on the block, and then we'll go from there. So we have to save up a few dollars, okay? Skaters matching the block. Let's check around the entire NHL, see what's going on here. Anything big? I'm hoping for just a big friggin' prospect here. Come on, anybody. I don't know what I think, honestly, I'm looking for a centerman prospect. Bissonnette's not bad. Like a top-tier center prospect if there's anything out there, because, I mean, we have Leon. Ooh, we have... I'd honestly rather a younger guy just to shape on the third line for a few years, and then move Jack Hughes around or something. I mean, I do like Leon for the Avalanche. Too bad. No, he didn't sign before December 1st, because then he didn't get to play the rest of the year. Nope, nothing from there. Klingberg still on the block. I feel like he's been on the block for years now. Oh, is that, what's his name? Cohen Hodges for the Edmonton Oilers. I'd rather not trade in conference. I always feel like that's a bad idea. It'll always come back to bite you. Drew Doughty's on the block, 36 years of age, $11 million. No, thank you. Ole Levy, poor guy. Anybody? Anybody out here? Come on. Anybody? Bushnevich, no thank you. Nope. Come on. Jeremy Bracco. I mean, San Jose's losing a lot, but they get the first overall pick, so I guess a lot of those guys are expendable. So I understand it. Tampa Bay, Toronto, we have their first next year. Anything here? Anything to end here? Verana. Nope, does not look like a whole lot. We're going to sim the first overall pick, so we have a little bit more time. So Axelson goes to the San Jose Sharks. That's your franchise guy to mold your franchise around. Great pick for the Sharks. They're jumping from 11th to 1st. You got to be happy with that. So with us potentially getting the 5th overall pick, I want to be smart. Okay, there's a few guys we legitimately just have to trade away. So, okay, so Cale Newman is going to cost like 10 to the highest of $12 million. Okay, $12 million. We have 4.8 right now as it stands. Okay, around there. So we'd have to trade away. I mean, we could trade away Dumba and Kunin and save a whole lot of $11 million, almost 12 right there, and we'd be fine. Okay. Does Nils Hoglander have any trade value right now? He does. I think St. Louis... Okay, if St. Louis wants to do that deal right now, if they want Nils Hoglander, I'd be willing to do that trade. It's actually technically Dallas's pick. So, Nils Hoglander, do they want Nils Hoglander? They do. Nils Hoglander, man. We've had a lot of issues with him. He's been a solid player for us for a bit of time, but I think as it stands, this might be the best option. trade him for that top pick for a defenseman. That might be the best option. I think they'd be willing to do that trade straight up. Nils Hoglander, 2 Stanley Cups with us. But because of cap reasons, I think it's time for you to go, bud. If we're getting a young defenseman, I think that's the best decision we can make. Trade rejected. Oh, come on, St. Louis. Really? Oh, they might not want to make that trade anyways. Yikes. Okay, we'll give you a second. Would that make things good? Oh, wow. So they really don't want to do that trade. Oh, St. Louis, why you gotta be like that? Okay. So, okay. Man, gotta make things worse for us. Okay. Cool. So what do you don't want? Okay, we got a lot of goalies, too. We can't forget that. We got a crap ton of goalies. Vastanoyov is going to come up. Tallander's going to be great. Rensfeld's going to be good soon. Mackey. Got a lot of goalies. I think the most expendable one here is Ulanov. Maybe we trade him away. So I'm actually going to sim this New York Rangers pick. So, sim pick. They get Barnaby, a defenseman. Fantastic pick there. So we're going to go to find trade. If there's anything interesting out here for any of these players, I got to pull the trade. The only guy right now, the 2 guys I need to move right now would be Kunin and Dumba, just because we have Nils Hoglander's rights. So if we don't have the money to get a few guys, we can qualify him, right? So Matt Dumba, can we get anything for you? Does any team want you right now? First from Buffalo, the 8th overall pick, Varan and Lehkonen. How is Buffalo as a team? It does intrigue me because they're out of conference, right? They're technically a contender. 8th overall pick. If we need money, guys, that is just a fact. And they might turn out to be an interesting team next year. They might fall out of it. You never know, right? So the 8th overall pick. Let me go see what's the 8th overall pick. If it's a guy I'm intrigued in, then we got to make a it's not like I want to trade away Dumba, but I have to. That is a fact. At this point, I must trade away these guys. So the 8th overall pick is looking like one of these guys right here. Not really intrigued by that, but maybe we can use the 8th overall pick to move up for that 5th overall pick. I like that idea. I do. Because I don't really like Josefson or... yeah, I really don't. We have a lot of players like them in our system, so I'm doing the Matt Dumba trade. Let's get it done. So Matthew Dumba, you've been an absolute stud for us. Years previous, you used to be the man. But I think right now the best decision would be to make the trade with Buffalo for that pick. Those picks, sorry. So Matthew Dumba, you've been a beauty. But Cap is forcing us to make moves. That gives us a bit of money, which is huge for us. So it's time to make a decision here for St. Louis. We have the 8th overall pick now. That gets us closer. Maybe we can trade our 8th and our 1st. Would they do that trade? I think that benefits them. Trade accepted. St. Louis, I hope they don't get anybody good with that pick, but I like that trade. And the LA Kings get Van Vig, or Wanvig, sorry. Nashville acquires Niederberg. Wait. Are we getting the forward? Oh, we're getting the forward. I was hoping for the defenseman. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad with this, especially with us losing a lot of forward core. This guy could easily fit onto our 3rd line, eventually turn into a top 6 player. Makes Langweeder more... We could keep Langweeder on the 3rd line. Huh. I honestly thought Niederberger was going to move down. It says this guy is NHL ready. I'm assuming 77 on the low side. So you know what? He's a power forward, another power forward, big Russian guy, 6'1", 17 years of age, right-handed, right winger. Of course, I can't even pronounce this guy. Sergei Gugla. God damn it. Come on, Owen. Believe in yourself. With the 5th overall pick in the 2026 NHL entry draft, the Minnesota are proud to select from the VHL Sergei Gogolev. Welcome to the club. 78 overall power forward. You know what? I was hoping for Niederberger just to mold into a solid defensive guy, but we get a forward prospect. I think trading away Dumba, getting this, I think it works out for us, but we still have a lot of trades to make. It does not end here. So I can pencil him in. So I'll put him Gogo. I gotta think. Somebody think of a nickname for him, because I like Gogo. I like just calling him Gogo, because like it's Sergei. Oh my gosh. So would there be anything out there interesting for Kunin? I really don't want to trade Kunin, man. No trades found. Ooh, okay. We're going to find a trade for Nils Hoglander. If there's anything interesting out there for Nils, then hopefully there's something interesting out there for Nils. Fenesenkov. No. First and Bonino. McClellan. Prince. First and a first. First and a first. Eakin first. Guys, it's just a fact at this point that we need to trade away. I mean, we can even turn Gogo into a center, because power forwards easily turn into a center if they're big enough, usually. So makes Hoglander more of a trade option. So I just want to check out a bunch of these teams and see if potentially they're technically a champion. So what was the other team that wanted? Okay. Was Ottawa offering 2 firsts, and they're a pretty solid team? They're a pretty solid team. But one of these teams just could turn out to be like really bad. Or Nashville was really bad. Do they want to potentially trade their first next year? Yes, Nashville, you tools! Nils Hoglander is gone. Oh, I feel bad, though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nils, but you're going to like it there in Nashville. You're going to be a top guy. You're going to be used, right? Not like we didn't use you, right? But, hey, if they wanted to make that trade, they might even be a good team next year. You never know, but I think we get a first that is Magic Beans at this point, but I think it makes sense for us. So that's a few extra dollars here and there, okay. So nobody wants Kunin. Okay, let's look at cap. Let's look at the potential players that... Okay, LA's going to make their pick like right now, so... Zucker's gone. I mean, Luke Kunin looks to be the guy right now. That sucks. Sim pick, LA, what are you getting? LA acquires Bipri. I'm glad I got Gugulev. Gugulev. Sorry, that is freaking me out, that name. Okay. Nobody wants Kunin. That puts us in a rough position. But Cale Newman is an RFA. And a bunch of our guys are RFAs. And we can use that money to... Oh, yeah, we're fine. We don't have to trade Kunin right now. I think we're fine not trading him away this very second. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I didn't even think of that. We're fine. Getting a top pick, getting a new roster player in Gogo, or Gugu, whatever you want to call him. But that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Owen. Great big brain moment there. Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you, Owen. Okay. So, we probably can't get this Sutton guy. I'm looking at these 2 goaltenders. We'll definitely have enough time to acquire those guys, so we'll be fine. We're just going to sim up to our next pick here. I'm not going too in-depth in this draft. I just want a Stanley Cup. We're happy. So let's go to the first round and see what we missed. Okay, Montreal, solid prospect. A few solid guys there. St. Louis getting a decent guy there. Also getting Tham. Not a bad pick there. A few solid guys here. Nothing groundbreaking, though. Top 5 was pretty good. But after that, it kind of... There's solid prospects in the first round. Few top 9, so I'm kind of scared of that. Okay, top 6s here and there. That's a good thing. Hopefully we can get snag a decent prospect here in the second round. So a low elite there from New Jersey. Congratulations, you didn't win the cup, but you get a low elite in the second round. So our next guy that we're looking at are the 2 goaltenders. So 160. Yeah, we got plenty of time to go after those guys. Oh, we also got a goaltender here. That's a gem. Well, thank you. We're going with the goalie. Yippee. Who's the goalie? Oh, come on. Come on. Medium elite, 56 overall. Hell yes, man. I know we always pick goalies, but that just opens up options for us to trade away guys. So the third round, who did we miss? Hopefully we can pick up a few decent guys here. Yeah, we can't ever draft forwards, right, though? Or in the later rounds. We got goaltender, not a bad number there. Or, ooh, decent defenseman. Yep, a few decent guys here and there. Nothing groundbreaking except for that medium elite defenseman early in that round. I think at this time we're gonna go after. Do we wait or do we? Let's just get them now. So let's go with this Eddie Von Fersen guy. Welcome to the club. Hey, if he's decent, he's decent. Come on. Fringe starter. Yikes. Whatever. It was the third round. I'm not upset. I'm not mad at all, but it do be like that sometimes. Okay, so I did see center and Slaney. Hopefully we can. I want it. I don't know. I'm not super sure at this point what I'm looking for. We traded away a few guys here and there. Oh, we got Franzen. We're going with this guy. Top 6 in the 4th round, 18 years of age, out of the SHL right winger. Hell yes, welcome to the club. I'm expecting low 50s. 59 overall. That's a damn nice overall. And he's 18. Fantastic pick in the later rounds. Fantastic. 126 is our next pick. Oh, right here in the start the 5th round. Cool. So, what are we feeling next? E-League guy. We got Amari Sims. I'm not sure about that. We got Gustav Sololoyov. 5-year ETA. Probably not going to be anything super special. Let's go to potential. Let's see if we have anything scouted out here. Come on, anything interesting? Anything? A few top 9s there. Nothing super incredible. So let's I'm feeling this D-men. Let's go with it. Top 6. Well, it do be like that sometimes, though. Let's go with that goalie I was looking at. Welcome to the club, Brad Cizik. Ooh! Third straight draft with a high elite goaltender. And he's 19. Yes, I'm a legend. I'm so good at this game. Oh, yes. Great draft so far. We had a few busts there, and we had the one fringe. He was a high fringe starter though. We've had been a pretty good draft. We've gotten a lot done. Goaltender Morazzo. Okay, goaltenders are always going to be beasts. Then we got another goaltender in Kulnik. Okay, and after this, it's kind of just like wild card, like whatever we're feeling like, we'll do it. Brady Hall, 17 years of age. Do we have any? Yeah, this guy's speaking to me. This guy's speaking 4-year. Yeah, Alexander Arkhipov. Do it. It's gonna be like a low top 6. What a pick. What a freaking pick in the 5th round. 19 years of age, 63 overall, medium top 4 defenseman. Oh, I'm so good at this game. Not to toot my own horn, but what a draft so far. I thought my game broke. I almost cried. Oh my god, I almost cried. And now my house is making sounds sick. I've been recording all day, by the way. Like, I've been recording these episodes back to back to back just so I can give myself a little bit of a break just to edit and stuff. But yeah, sorry about that. So, what am I feeling here? What am I feeling? So, it's been a great draft so far. I have a feeling I should draft absolutely nothing. Let's go to goalies, because goalies are always great. Is this all the goalies we got? So, we got, who's the highest rated goalie right now? Let's go with Vyacheslav Shirokov. Come on, be a beauty. Be a beauty. Let's get this W. Come on. Backup. You know what? We can't always be happy with our picks, but you know what? I'm okay. We also have another pick here in the 7th round. Let's do it. Let's see. Let's go with this Yashin kid because I like the name. Bottom 6. You know what? You can't. I should be more in depth and like, ooh, take a look at like what did they score and like, nah. It's a gut feeling. That's how I make most of my picks. Looks like the low elite's the best one here. I can't pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. Anything else here? We're going to go with the goalie because I feel like it. Because goalies are the best, and I love each and every goalie except for... I don't know. I can't name a goalie at this very moment. Ooh, 6'5", 19 years of age, 4-year ETA. Let's Pedro Darling. Yes. Bottom 6. You know what? You can't win them all. I would say half the draft picks this year were great. Our 5th overall pick was fantastic. Made a few really awesome goalie picks. Few really awesome top 6 prospects. I would call that a big fat W. Trading away Dumba, trading away Nils Hoglander for Nashville's first next year, who was the worst placed team this past season. So I'm hoping they repeat that next year. It's all magic beans at this point, but we are the defending Stanley Cup champions. I think I made the right moves as it currently stands, especially with the cap coming to destroy us. I think I made the right moves as it currently stands. Thank you very much. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment. Share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.